welcome to Thomas's drifting school. And for that we put in the Nürburgring special mode. So we have soft suspension actually, but sporty everything else. Nürburgring Nordschleife because it needs soft suspension because of the topography changes. And then we also deactivate the ESC system to completely off. That is possible here in the Golf R. Sadly not with a button anymore, but then in the infotainment system. And Leah can enjoy some drifting here. Yeah, we had a preview earlier and you seem to be enjoying that very much, right? So, yeah. And then we just basically turn in the steering wheel and hammer the throttle. And since we're here on this frozen lake, the ESC is off. There we go. And then we can hold the drift and we just control the throttle. You see here, I don't change the steering that much. Now I counter steer a little bit. I can hold the circle, and by that, see here, I can hold the circle almost forever. You see, I don't do too much with the steering. It's more that I steer the car with the throttle, and we can look outside the window here when we look to the front. There's a little bit, blown out this lake here already because temperatures were changing. Yeah, and then I can, for example, also exit this roundabout. Yeah. It looks all so easy, right? You want to try that yourself?
Maybe.
What is going on? Look at that! What is going on? You never practiced this before?
No.
She's a natural, isn't she? Are you kidding me? This was the first time?
Yes, and it was so much fun, and it's so cool on the snow, and the nature is very cool. Yeah.
Well, and here now on the track, what we can very well show you is the difference between the ESC systems actually. So at the moment, Nürburgring mode and also ESC is off, and I have a lot of play. And also you can see in the front, there's another Golf R with Martin Escher, longtime colleague here, and yeah, he's also drifting it out. It's really cool here on that frozen lake, and you can see this is real black ice. It looks like asphalt in front of us, but it's real ice then on the ground. The thing is always, of course, between the drifting and going straight, we know different techniques. Colin McRae has been drifting it all the way out, for example. Sebastian Loeb, for example, more driving like a asphalt racer driver, but driving directly without a lot of drifting is often the faster way. And here, for example, I'm already drifting without, applying some throttle. Sometimes just the low change here, for example, is going in the drift. It's really slippery here on this very track, but beautiful with all the trees and so on. Very interesting, and it's super challenging indeed. And you have to control the speed, of course, to check that you don't get too fast. Here you see, it happens really easily that you can get drifted outside the corner, and then you have to correct again. So when you slowly start, here for example, you can drift out of the corner, and here slowly against it, drift to the other side. You see, I'm trying to be very smooth on the steering. Now the interesting thing is when I'm, for example, going to the ESC Sport, that's now where technology plays a role then. And what have they done there? ESC Sport is then, here you can get a little bit loose, but at the same time, at some point before the car would be totally braking out, it is being controlled by the electronic helping systems. So for everyday car driving life, that would of course be the better solution. It is safer. At the same time, you can have some loose fun. So here, for example, I can drift it out. I can have some wheel spin, yes. But before going all the way sideways, the car would be caught. And of course, it's good to know to have such kind of systems. And of course, on normal road driving, you would keep it all the way activated.
Oh,
yeah, Martin yeah, we talked about that. Martin got a little bit loose here. Yeah, he has been doing this for like 30 years. Yeah, and You see, guys, even the most professional drivers, sometimes they get caught by the snow. Well, and for this reason, you can also keep the ESC activated. And this is, it's really not so much fun to drive it with ESC activated here. You know, here you hear how the system is ruling it. You can, in a way, drive faster with it, especially when you're not that experienced. And it is astonishing how the car is kept in the lane here, like this. It's like driving on rails a little bit here. Of course, there is at some point laws of physics, so you can also drift out on ice, but on dry road or just wet road, hardly happens. And here you can see, for example, Martin is drifting it, and I'm here. In a way, you get stuck, you know. So it's very interesting, and sometimes it can feel faster even. That's really interesting. So you drive really, really safe, like this. So especially when you start to drive, it's good to start with ESC activate. Here now again, system is ruling. And sometimes I get the feeling that when you want to score the fastest lap time, maybe ESC Sport would be the best, because then you have some kind of safety net, but you're not slowed down too much. Here with ESC on, you just slow down too much. But with ESC Sport, for example, you have just displayed that you don't get ruled down too much, but at the same time you have a safety net. So that could be a good learning setting. But of course, the most fun will always be with ESC off. This one then not recommended, should not use that on public roads. Just here, for example, when I fly off here, I land into this snowball and I'm actually fine. However, you still have to be careful, you know, because at some point it can go wrong, and you shouldn't underestimate it. So always watch the speed. Of course, we have even more great golfr content here. Or may want to go SUV racing, Tigor and R video for you as well.